So I was sitting at the dining room table doing some work when suddenly I heard this noise coming from the living room. So I ran in there to see what it was, and this is what I found. Yes, it's a hawk. It had been scrabbling at our window and was now sitting there on our porch railing, just staring at me. I don't know what it thought it was doing, but it just sat there for a long time. I didn't even think to open the blinds, so they're in the way. And when I move the camera, the blinds go into focus, but the hawk goes out of focus. But you can still see he's hunched over, he's fluffing up, and suddenly... So this is not exactly an everyday occurrence here. So later on in the day, I took a still picture from that video and I posted it to Twitter. And I tagged a Twitter friend named Jerome, who is a birder. He knows a lot about birds, especially here in Southern California. And I asked him what kind of hawk this was. And he said he thought it was a Cooper's hawk. So I went out to the Cornell Lab of Ornithology's website, all about birds, and looked it up. So it looks like he's actually an immature Cooper's hawk, because as you can see, the adult has a slightly different coloring. By the way, I want to put in a small plug for All About Birds. If you ever need to ID a bird, go out to allaboutbirds.org from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. But back to our porch railing. The hawk was not finished.
No, you can't come in here.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I love how it just hangs there from the screen. And why? So there he is back on the railing, just staring at us through the window. I don't know what he's thinking. And he can't even be seeing a reflection on that because that's the screen side. Right, that's the screen side. So it's not as if he's seeing a reflection of himself on that side of the window. Now, the side of the window that we're actually looking at him through does not have a screen in front of it. So maybe he's seeing his reflection on that. I don't know. What's interesting is in that bush behind him are actually a lot of finches and sparrows, and there's a mockingbird. And over on the left side of the video, you can actually see a little bird over there. So I don't know why the hawk is paying more attention to the window in the house than he is potentially breakfast right behind him. But here we are. So after staring us for a little bit longer, he decides to make another attack. Yeah, buddy, come on. Yeah, right. That's me saying, come at me, bro. What the heck am I thinking? Here he goes. And he didn't get the hint. He just kept coming. Here he is hanging from the screen again. Meanwhile, I'm hoping he doesn't tear the screen. What are you doing? Back over to the railing, where he's just going to hang out for a little bit longer. Here he comes again. But he's not done. Here he comes again. And again. And again. So at this point I get smart and I take down the decorative hanging in front of the window and I switch my phone to landscape mode. No more letterboxing. Sorry about that. But here he comes again. And I know he's down here somewhere, so I'm just waiting for him. there he is. And so this continues for a while because here he is. And again. Again with the screen. And then back to the railing. He really is a beautiful bird. Or maybe it's a she, I don't know. But it's just gorgeous. Uh-oh. So this cannot continue. This has just been happening over the course of about an hour. It keeps hopping up onto the windows. So I decide I'm going to go outside and try to make him go away. What are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? You can't be clattering at our window all day. Go on. So at this point he does fly off. And I think maybe that's going to be it for the day. But it wasn't. What do you think you are doing? What do you think you're doing? I'm hoping that by talking to him, I'm going to scare him away. But he just sits there and stares at me. You can't keep scrabbling at our window. You can't. You have to stop it. Do you hear me? You have to stop it. You cannot keep scrabbling at our window. And then he does this. Go get some. Stop it! What are you doing? What are you doing? What do you see up there? I don't want him to hurt himself. Seriously, bird. If this keeps going on, he may. Go away. Shoo, 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 shoo. Go away. So he flew off, and I thought that was the end of it because he didn't come back for a while. But an hour or so later, he was scrabbling at the office window this time. So I went out there to see if I could shoo him away again, and I got this picture of him up on the garage roof. I went off the back porch and I walked toward him and he flew away. So that was the end of it for that day. But what an amazing thing to see, huh? It's not often that you get up close and personal with a wild bird of prey staring at you through your window. But this was not the first time we had seen a hawk here. I saw one a couple months ago and I shooed them away from our bird feeders. And then earlier this month, we saw one that landed on a pile of brush we have in a corner of our yard where there are a lot of quails nesting in it. There's probably some squirrels, and then the smaller squirrels that look like chipmunks are probably under there too. So it was hopping around on the wood and, just doing what hawks do. When suddenly another hawk comes swooping in and scared that hawk over to sit on our gate. Now we have a Ring camera facing our gate, and so I got some footage of the first hawk sitting on the gate and then being chased away by the second hawk. And then he sits there and screams at the first hawk for a while before he finally flies away. So here is some bonus footage from our Ring camera.